4 Adidas shoes and we will compare them. We have the Adizero SL2, the Boston 12, the Supernova Prima and the Adistar Byd. Let's find out which one is right for you. Hey everyone and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex. In today's video we have a comparison between 4 Adidas shoes. They're very different in some ways, they're similar in some other ways. The idea is to help you pick the right one for you. We have the Adizero SL2, the Boston 12, the Supernova Prima and the Adistar Byd. You have links in the description to top4running.com if you want to purchase them. Use code META, that will give you a discount and it helps us. Thanks a lot for going via these links and using the code. I will do it very simple. I will pick each of them and I will explain you why you should buy them and why you should not buy them. And then I will give you my opinion on the one I would keep among the 4. First of all, Adistar SL2. This is the €130 entry-level shoe in the Adizero lineup. It's a do-it-all type of shoe. It has almost no flaws except of the lack of continental rubber in the outsole that creates a slightly less grippy forefoot traction than in the other continental rubber equipped shoes like the Boston and the Adistar Byd. To be honest, it's a really good shoe. It has everything you expect from an entry-level shoe, but much more than that. It can do pretty much everything. From easier sessions, easier runs to track runs, this shoe will not disappoint you. You should purchase it if you're on a budget or if you want one shoe to do everything in your rotation. That all-rounder type of shoe that you're looking for is maybe the Adizero SL2. Boston 12, a shoe that released last year. This one is the more up-tempo shoe out of all of them here. And it's also a legendary shoe from Adidas. That top layer of foam here is Line Strike Pro, the top-end foam from Adidas. It also has glass fiber, if I'm not mistaken, energy rods that you can see here through that small window. This shoe is essentially for you out there who have a bigger rotation of shoes and you want that one shoe that can go for threshold sessions, marathon pace, maybe even intervals, and can do it with a sensation mimicking the Adios Pro 3, or at least a sensation closer to what your race day shoe will provide you. It's the lightest shoe out of all of them here. It's the more responsive, more advanced shoe. In general, it's also a shoe that will give you better sensations. It's more connected to your running, more connected to your foot. The upper is more streamlined. It's not my favorite, it's a bit abrasive, but it's more streamlined, it's more lightweight. And in general, it's the more performance-oriented package that you have with this shoe. It comes at €160 and it's the second least expensive shoe on this table. Let's move on to the shoe priced at €170. This is the Supernova Prima. This is the least performance-oriented shoe out of the 4. It's a more premium daily trainer. It will not sustain faster paces. It will not go on the track on your threshold runs, on your interval sessions. It's a shoe basically for everything from recovery pace up to endurance pace, especially if you're running a bit more in terms of mileage. It has a bit more of that Dream Strike Plus EVA PBA blend foam, especially here in the forefoot. You will have more cushion in the forefoot, you will have a bit more protection. And it also comes with those support rods that you can see, the red part here through the outsole, or the red part right here, the bottom part. These support rods will help align your foot strike and provide a bit more stability, a bit more centering of your foot strike, if that makes sense. And for people running higher mileage or for people wanting a easier pace shoe with still a higher stack height and a higher protection in terms of the foam you have underfoot, this is a good option. Also, outsole, this, like the Adizero SL2, does not have a continental rubber. It's a decent rubber on this one, maybe even a bit better than on the Adizero SL2, but continental rubber being that high-end rubber, very grippy, great traction for a do-it-all daily trainer in which you're supposed to spend lots of time. I think it's missing it. It's not fairly priced. This shoe should be the replacement of the Supernova Rise at €150. It's €170. And because of that, I just don't really see who would benefit from it. For now, I think it's a bit of a weird animal in the Adidas lineup. Last but not least, the most expensive shoe out of the 4 is the Adistar Byd. This is the pinnacle shoe of the Adistar silo at Adidas. It's a similar setup with 2 foams compared to the SL2 and the Boston, but in this case it's Repetitor Plus that is the carrier foam. It's a bit more dense, a bit more firm compared to the carrier foam, the Light Strike carrier foam on the SL2 and on the Boston. And the insert here is Lightstrike Pro, the same foam as you have on the Boston, a lot of, at least on the top layer, and the same foam as here on the Adizero SL2 with that insert. On this shoe you also have a plate that you can see from the outside, a plate that is full length from heel to toe. It even goes outside of the edges of the shoe. It provides a lot of stability. This shoe is that premium shoe that maybe heavier runners will enjoy the most out of the four, and that also people who want to have a bit more fun in their running will enjoy more. I can also imagine this shoe for people who have 2-3 shoes in their rotation and they want to have an option that can go from easier paces to long runs and pick up the pace a bit. With the shoe, it provides with a lot of protection because it also has more stack height, compression and decompression compared to the more, let's say, dull foam of the Supernova Prima. Outsole, continental rubber, lots of traction, lots of grip, nothing bad about this shoe here. The upper is the thickest of all of them and the more plush when it comes to the padding around the heel. It's probably not a heel that will work for everyone, and it's probably not a fit that will work for everyone in general. It's a more snug fit compared to the other shoes, with probably the, I would say, Supernova Prima having the more relaxed fit and the two Adizero shoes a snug fit, but with a bit more room to play with thanks to that lighter and less thick upper on the Boston. This is a bit more snug and a bit more narrow, so keep this in mind if you're picking this shoe. At 190 euros, this is the most expensive shoe out of the four, and it adds to that premium feeling about it. Let's eliminate the shoes one by one, starting with Supernova Prima. It's a bit too dull for me, and I don't have a use for it in my rotation right now, so it's out. I'm hesitating. Out of the 3 remaining shoes, I will eliminate the Adistar Byd. I'm surprised, and it's kind of a last-minute decision. It's simply a shoe that I think has better competition on the market, and I would pick some other shoes at that price point against it. There's nothing wrong about it, and I'm actually still running in it, so it's a weird decision. But looking at these two, I think they're just better options overall. And now let's eliminate the last one. I'm eliminating the Adistar SL2, and that's really coming down to the outsole, the grip, and the overall properties of this shoe. It will do everything super well. It's a great price point, and honestly, I think you should consider it. But simply because it doesn't have a continental outsole or a better outsole for that matter, I think it will be limiting, especially here in Brussels, in Belgium, where I live. It's super, rainy, and you need to have a good grip, some good traction. I'm recommending it to you, but it's not my winner. So yeah, in the end, it's the Boston 12. It's the most, let's say, consensual choice out of the 4. Everyone knows the Boston. The 10 was a huge dramatic change. The 12 is probably the better version of the 10. I do not love the Boston 12, but I do really enjoy its versatility, its capability, and how reliable it is. Sometimes I'm just picking it because I know I have a session that is a bit like question mark. I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel. I'm not sure if I want to push the pace. I know I can slow down a bit with the Boston. I know I can pick up the pace. So it's my choice in the end. If I had other super trainers or high-end trainers like the Boston against it, it would probably not win. Nevertheless, today, out of the 4 shoes, this is the one I'm keeping. The idea of this video was for you to decide between the 4 shoes which one works for you. Let me know in the comments which one you would pick based on my description, based on your knowledge of the 4 shoes, or on your testing of the 4 shoes if you tested them. Drop a line, drop a message if you agree with me, if you disagree. It's always good to chat. Thanks a lot for watching. Enjoy your run today, enjoy your ride, go beyond your limits, and let's link to the review of the Adios Pro 3. Why not? It's a shoe that's here with us for 2 years now. We're waiting for a replacement, but it's still valid and relevant. Let's check that review again. It's right here. Thank you. See you in the next one.